হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। ওয়েলকাম টু পিএফএস। আমরা যখন কোম্পানি অ্যানালাইসিস করি, তখন it is extremely important to understand a company's performance with respect to changes in the economic cycle. So what happens, economy doesn't move in linear fashion, so it moves in cycles. So it is really important to understand what kind of companies are being affected most during the up and down business cycle and what companies are affected less in the up and down business cycle. So in this video, I will discuss about the cyclical and the defensive companies. So what happens? Economy doesn't move like in linear fashion. So economy normally moves in cyclical fashion. So sometimes the economy goes up and sometimes the economy goes down. So what happened during business upcycle, like during business peak, some companies grow at a faster rate compared to other companies. At the same time, during the business trough or towards the recessionary phase, some businesses affected more on the downside compared to others. So why that is so? Some of the companies are affected very highly during the up business cycle and down business cycle because they deal with products that are mostly durable goods or luxury products or in heavy industries. For example, companies like that deals with steel, cements, or electronic products or automobiles. So what happens during the up business cycle? The demand for automobiles, the demand for construction materials like cement, steel, those increases. So in those scenarios, companies dealing with those products, they are seeing very high growth in their revenues, and as a result, their profitability grows as well. And they are affected very badly during the down business cycle because in the down business cycle, the construction activities goes down, people forego their purchases for automobiles and so on. So they are very highly affected during the down business cycles as well. We call those types of companies are cyclical companies because they have very high sensitivity with the changes in economic growth. So during up business cycle, their profitability increases a lot, their growth accelerates, and during down business cycle, their uh, profitability decrease a lot and it accelerately goes down. And also what happens in case of companies that has very high leverage. So companies that has good amount of debt in their balance sheet compared to their equity. So they are very highly affected during the up and down business cycle as well. So what happens during the up business cycle, their sales accelerate. So even after adjusting for the interest payment for the debt, they have very high profitability and their equities are lower as a percentage of the total balance sheet. So they see high growth in return on equity as well. During the down business cycle, since their sales are being affected, but they are very highly leveraged, they have still need to make interest payment. So their profitability declines very sharply and their return on equity declines very sharply as well. On the other hand, there are some companies that are dealing with staple products. We call those companies as a defensive company because during the up business cycle, their profitability doesn't increase so much. Their sensitivity with the changes in the business cycle is very low. And during the down business cycle, they are less affected. For example, companies dealing with pharmaceutical products or companies dealing with essential household products or companies that dealing with like staple foods. So, for example, during a very up business cycle, people normally don't increase their spending on like medicines very sharply. Or during a down business cycle, they do not cut back their spending on medicines as well. During up business cycle, people don't eat a lot of products that are very basic in nature. For example, rice, flour, etc. And also during the up and down business cycle, the sensitivity for products like household products, like cleaning products or soaps, this type of products doesn't increase very sharply during the up business cycle, and it does not decrease very sharply in the down business cycle as well. So we call this type of companies as a defensive company or non-cyclical companies, and also companies that has very low leverage, companies that are having huge amount of equity in their balance sheet. So those companies are less affected compared to the levered companies in the down and up business cycle. So sensitivity of profitability of those businesses like defensive companies and companies with low leverage are lower compared to the companies that are cyclical in nature or that are highly levered companies as well. So that's how we differentiate between a cyclical company and a defensive company. So in terms of positioning our portfolio, we need to focus on the changes in the business cycle that is expected, and appropriately we can focus on those companies. So in analysis, it is extremely important to understand the nature, to understand the business model, and how a company's profitability, revenue affected in different business cycles as well. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Thank you for watching the video.